Yes, we are live once again here with the Reentry Connect podcast. It takes a village. Yes, with Ms. Lauren Smith here, a powerful person in the city of Philadelphia, entrepreneur, a person that loves the community, gives back constantly. Fresh out of South Philly. We telling y'all she has a big story to tell. She has a lot of different things that she has going on and wants to share with the world. But I'm telling y'all right now, y'all in for a great treat. And I know that every time I get on here, things are always great. But without further ado, I just want to give a shout out to One Day at a Time. Old Dad, yes, Mr. Mel Wells, we appreciate all the things you do out there in the city. Recovery support, reentry support, all types of support and resources. Feel free to contact them at 215-226-7860, Mr. Mel Wells. And without further ado, one last one, and that's gpstransportation.net at 215-774-9913. If you're in the city of Philadelphia and need five-star transportation company, I'm telling you, they have the best party buses. We have different types of vehicles to take them everywhere, wheelchair accessory, anything you need. Feel free to contact them and mention my name, and you will, for sure, have a good rate. And if they don't give it to you, feel free to contact me. But getting back to the show, we have no other than Ms. Lauren. Peace be upon you. We appreciate having you here tonight. And we just thank you for allowing yourself to take the time out to share what's on your heart and experiences you've been through and what you have coming today. So without further ado, Ms. Lauren, could you go ahead and give you a little introduction of who you are and where you're from?
How you doing, everybody? I'm Lauren Smith. I'm the founder of It Takes a Village nonprofit organization, where we're offering opportunities for at-risk youth or any youth at that point in our communities.
Cool, cool. We appreciate that, Ms. Lauren. And Ms. Lauren, right now, and if you can, I know that people want to probably know who you are, before they dig into like the calls and the things that you have going on. So if you could just give us a little bit about you, your upbringing, did you have a great upbringing or were you out in the suburbs or did you come up in the trenches like a lot of people usually do? So let's get us a little,
Uh,
little bit about you.
well, I'm born and raised South Philly. Definitely
Okay.
came up in the trenches, My father, Bill Smith, he was a well-known member of the Black Mafia. And my grandma was one of the head founders of a festival that they give every second Sunday in June called the Odunde Festival. It's an African festival on South Street. Yeah, a lot of people is familiar with it. But for those that aren't, yes, her name is Ruth Murray. She is one of the founders. Her and a lady named Lois Fernandez founded the Odunde Festival.
Wow, wow, that's very powerful, very powerful. So let me ask you, Ms. Lauren, like, so during your time of coming up in the streets of South Philly, like when you mentioned like the Black Mafia, you're dealing with the Noonie Mims and the Ron Harveys and a lot of a lot of big time people that were infamous way back in the day. So by you coming up through that era, then going through school and things like that, were you getting into fights? Were you part of that next generation? What type of things, how did your childhood look during that time?
Um, I had a good childhood, but um, I was accessible to a lot of children who wasn't as fortunate as I was. So
Mhm.
I began to follow that path because at the time I was young, so I thought it was right. When I had a curfew and my other friends could stay out all night, I thought, that was right. When I had to be at one location and my other friends got to go to the parties and all of that, I thought it was right. And when I would get punished for it, once I got a certain age, I would run away and roam the streets and be in the streets with my friends. So I
Wow.
got I got firsthand look at the good and the bad.
And that's great. Wow. So you had firsthand, so you had a little bit of both. And
Right,
that's actually a good thing because now you can speak from the experience. You know
right,
what I mean? So now it's not just, oh, she just has this and has that. She can't really tell me nothing, but she can tell you a lot because you've been through it.
right.
So let me ask you. So during the time and when you were a teenager, growing into an adult, did you ever experience any type of time or trauma within going through like the prison system or jail system at all?
Absolutely. I was in and out the youth study center as a youth. So much that I had a fake mom, fake dad, fake grandmom in there.
Wow.
Um, I even did, as an adult, I did some time in the county. The crazy
Mm.
part is, I did some time in the county while I was pregnant with my son. Yeah,
Wow. So you
yeah,
did time. So I could just imagine what you was going through. Probably even thinking, where, you're going to have a child while you were incarcerated.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Actually, I had a child that I left on the streets, and I was incarcerated pregnant with a baby. So I had a baby on the streets that was left with my sister, and I was incarcerated with a baby in my stomach. I actually came home a month before I had my son.
Wow, that was a blessing. That's a blessing because we know that for certain that usually when women do have children in prison, they usually put the child up into the system, and a lot of times they don't even allow them to go to a family member or relative that's close kin, to the person, the person that conceived. But it's very, great that you made it home in time to give birth, to your son.
Yeah.
So throughout that time when you were an adult, at what time did you say, you know what, enough is enough? I'm going to change my life. I'm going to make sure I stay on the right path. I'm going to do the right thing and help others. Like what time, what type of changing point? When did that occur?
Um, I always helped people. That was just something natural. I watched my grandmom do it. I remember she would get up 5 in the morning and crack her door and feed the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Anybody in the neighborhood, she wanted to feed them. They would come to the home. We was one of the first people in our neighborhood with cable. So I remember 20 people would sit in our home and watch the Sixers game when they had the brown box with the cord and you press the
Mm,
button down. And we
yeah,
just had
yeah.
one cable channel. It was Prism. So the
Wow,
whole neighborhood would come. So I picked up the helping people came from that.
wow,
But I don't think I decided I wanted to change until I was incarcerated with my son. I think what really hit me was I called home. Because I did a few months in the county, so I would always call to talk to my daughter. But I remember one time calling home, talking to her, and I would always tell her, "I'll be home soon. I'll be home soon." And this
wow,
one time, I was like, "I'll be home soon," and she was like, "Well, I
yeah,
wish you hurry up." And it broke me down. I think I
wow,
went in that cell, and that's when reality kicked in. Like, all right, I got to do better. So while I was in jail, I came up with a plan, and I just the same way that I executed the hustle, I
yeah.
did it from the business aspect. So when I came home, I opened up an Islamic store with my aunt out Frankfurt Avenue, 5105 Frankfurt Avenue. The building actually still there. We still have the building. She rents it out to someone else right now.
Okay.
It was called Sisters Enterprise.
Wow, wow, Sisters Enterprise. Wow. So you decided, and what year did you start that up?
2017.
2017. Wow. So this is pretty fairly almost
Yep.
most recent. So
Yep.
6 years ago, this really started happening. This really,
Yep.
wow, that's powerful. So throughout this time, and I know you say you have children and things like that. Um, so were you able to raise your children and teach them the ethics that you were taught when you were younger as well?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Wow.
The crazy part is I remember growing up and I used to be like, man, my mom drawing. And then now the same thing that she used to get on me about, I
Yeah.
find myself installing that in my my children.
And
Yeah.
your children. Wow. So right now, like, so I know you mentioned like even before, like you've always had the family structure and things like that. So at that point, you decided to extend your family and grow it even more. So in
Yeah.
which way did you do so?
Um, well, to be honest, this is a crazy story. I was hustling on a block down South Philly. Um, and it was two smoker ladies there, and one of them had two children that lived in a home with her. So I kind of felt like the least I could do, being as though I was hustling in this house, was take care of these kids and make sure they was cool because we was making a substantial amount of money. So I kind of adopted them as my god kids. Um, Maybe like a year and some change in DHS came and removed the kids from the home.
Wow.
The daughter ran away and she came to my aunt's house and was told my aunt to call me, and my aunt called me like, hey, the little girl's here looking for you. And I went there to get her, and she was like, I ran from the program. I was like, look, we gonna do this the right way. I called the DHS worker and I was like, look, I'm willing to take her. And at the
Mhm.
time, he was like, it's some steps that you have to take in order to keep her. I had to get a background check, make sure that my house had space for her and my fingerprints and stuff done. And all I did all of that and they let me get it. And from there, I just ain't never looked back. I've been doing treatment foster care for Progressive Life Center for 23 years. November be 24 years.
24 years. Wow. And within
4
that
years.
24-year span, how many kids did you actually foster
I
into your life?
probably had about 14 children in my home, 7 of which I legally adopted. I have a set of twins right now in my home that's 13.
Wow, my sister, that is very profound because I'm telling you, to even take in a child, that, everybody else didn't want, that just shows, your gratitude towards love. That shows where your heart is at. Because a lot of people, like you said, some people don't care. They'd rather, I've worked in childcare where I've seen actual lawyers and judges give their children up because they were making them look like a disgrace.
Right.
They were making them look bad, things like that. But for you to take them in, it's like, wow. So a judge or a lawyer would rather choose their career over their own child. That's deep,
Yeah.
and I definitely commend you on that. For shout out to Tony Lee because he on here. He said,
Totally.
he said, yeah, everything is heavy. And I know we can continue, but I want to shout because there's a lot of people over here on Instagram that's actually shouting you out. We got Respectfully, SMD, Inner City
Nah,
Peace.
nah.
They're
Nah.
saying, this is a made innercitypeace.org. I got what I want. They're shouting you out, the kid 1999. Respectfully, yeah, they all on here. ACOG, Music Box, Shop LC. We appreciate it. The real Milio, he on appreciate it. What's her
Millie,
name? Yeah, mobile fun drinks. They on here supporting you like crazy. Right here, I'm in my own lane. Yeah, they really on here. So we shout out to everybody. SY Dreams. We appreciate everybody tuning in. But yeah, but just again showing that love, that means a lot and it takes a lot. You know what I mean? So if you did that within your own household, we see that, which is obviously in prevalent, which we're going to get into, that you're doing it in the community as well. And that's what I want to touch into. So we know that you opened up the shop, like you said, on Frankfurt Avenue, things like that. So now we know that eventually you started branching out. You started doing a lot more.
right.
Now, what type of things, did you start doing that branched out to where you are now?
Okay. Once I opened up the Islamic shop, I think we had that for about 2 years before I branched off and I opened up my first hair salon on 55th and Chester, 5536 Chester Avenue. It was a little shop with 9 stations in there. At which time, I went to one of the barbers and was like, hey, we should start this program where, we pull kids in and we show them how to cut hair. So he was like, that's a good idea. So I would go on Facebook and I would say, hey, I'm looking for 7 kids from the age of 13 or 18 that want to learn how to cut hair. You know what I mean? And I would tell them, look, you know, bring the kids to the shop. My barber would show them how to cut hair. And the kid that showed the most initiative, meaning like came on time, sat down, learned. I even had people that were locked up for a long period of time come in and tap in with the kids and talk to them and stuff like that. Whoever showed the most initiative, with their parents' permission, we would start a LLC for them, as well as give them a book bag with a cape, clippers, and all of that, so that they could become their own bosses and cut their friends' hair and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So it turned out to be a great program, but I just had a little space. So
Yes.
I went to Ryan Mobile Fun Drinks and I was like, yo, we got to find a bigger building and basically kind of make it like a school. We wanted to open the doors and expand so that we could teach not only the boys at this point, but the girls as well, the same
Mhm.
thing. So August of last year, I opened up a bigger building with 16 stations,
Mhm.
5128 Market Street. Here we go, 215.
Wow.
And yeah, that's why we here.
Wow. Wow. That's powerful. That's powerful. So to set the record straight, so you're actually a barber, like you know how to cut hair,
No,
and
I
you
don't know
do.
how to
Oh,
cut.
oh,
I
but you
don't
do
know how
hair.
to cut hair. I could do hair a little bit, but I'm not a stylist. But I have
Oh,
stops
okay.
in the shops. I have barbers in the shop. It just always was my passion. Music, hair, fashion, all that went hand in hand. So the first thing when I stepped off the branch off on my own or create a business, the first thing I ran to was hair. That's what used to
Gotcha.
spend the most of my money on. So I was like, you know what? I want my own shop. So
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, and that's cool. That's cool. You know, hey, that's powerful. Like I said, you got people over here. Like I said Music Boy Shout LLC. We had to come here greatness from this young queen. L speaks to them. Yeah, they say you speaking. We even have here Ms. Lauren. I would like to get into fostering young males. So that's definitely something like I believe, can definitely teach people. I got what I want. She said I will teach children to braid, Ms. Lauren.
yeah, that's
Um,
actually my sister. She the reason I opened up a shop. She do hair.
oh
Yeah,
wow, wow.
yeah.
That's
That's my sister.
powerful. That's
Yep.
powerful. And that's what's
Um,
up.
in the
Hmm.
city piece. Send me a message and I'll send you my foster care agency's
Yeah.
number and
So
put you
so
right in with.
how can they how would you like them to contact you if need be? If they want to get in contact, what would they do?
They can email me at it takes a village nonprofit at gmail.com. They can add me on Facebook, Muslima Latifa, or Instagram. It takes a village nonprofit as well on Instagram.
Cool. So that's it right there. Like you said, y'all can contact her right there. Yeah, they definitely trying to get the info and things like that because it's a very good thing that you're doing. And I know that, like you said, so right now, so you say you're in the shop. Your sister motivated you to open the shop. So right now, if you could touch a little bit more on that again. So now your shop is located where, and what type of things are going on there right now?
Okay, 5128 Market Street. Here we go, 215 is where it's located.
Okay.
Right now we're looking for youth that wants to learn how to cut hair. Young ladies, young men, ladies that want to do hair, as well as I have a studio, 6203 Grays Avenue. Um, if you do music, any kind of music, if you want to learn how to engineer, if you want to learn how to do video recording, podcasting, even if you want to print merch, I got a whole team of people that's willing to
Mm,
step in and help with these kids. Dom, also, he's giving opportunities. I have another partner named Byron. He runs a trucking company, 18 or older. We're paying for the kids to get their driver's license. Respectfully, on here, Nafisa, that's my partner with this nonprofit as well. She has a cleaning company called
mm.
Girls Could Do It All and landscaping business. She's offering jobs. We trying to anything to keep them off the street.
And
So
that's
we,
and that's powerful.
yeah.
That's very powerful. Right here, we have a lady here on Instagram on what's on the menu. She said, "What made you want to give back to your community?"
The way I was raised, my grandma, it was installed in me. Anybody that know me, close to me, know that I take care of everybody around me. Any way that I can help, I share it even when I don't have much. So that was something that was installed in me. I watched my grandma do it. My
Mhm.
mom did it, and then I just picked it up.
Yeah, you picked it up, and
Yeah.
that's great. See, most people, and it's crazy because a lot of people oftentimes forget where they come from. You know what I mean? A lot of times they run into a little money or start making a little money and then try to flex or stunt on people that may not be fortunate enough, to have the type of money they have. But here it is, you have a heart to turn around now, give back. I know where I come from. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to have nice things, but at the same time, people take that initiative of wanting to flaunt and things like that. But again, some people don't do that. Some people don't, want to feel as though that they're, um, mightier than anybody because, some people do have hearts. And right here we have Mr. Tony Lee. He says, what can you say about the violence situation? So, assuming the
Man,
violence within the city and things
man,
like that.
man, it's horrible.
Mm,
It's hard. It's. I never seen nothing on this level in my life. Even
wow.
when I was a kid growing up, I remember when they would say someone got killed, it would be like, wow. Like, what I mean? Now it's like, it's become a norm, even with the gunshots with my kids. It's like, all right, everybody duck, but it's like a norm. Like, this is normal. And it's not. It's kids can't even go to school. They shooting them up at the bus stops. They shooting
Yeah.
them up on the bus. You can't even dress your kids nice. They robbing them. It's
Mhm.
terrible. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
It definitely is, and it's crazy that you just bring that up about the kids getting shot up at the school, because I was actually just speaking at a school, and they were so pressed on like really getting that talk conveyed to them because it was a hot topic. And it's like when you really look at it, it's like, wow, some people, kids actually shot up a bus stop, like, at kids, you know what I'm saying? And now these youth, they get arrested. So then now they getting charged with 7 accounts of attempted murder or 8 accounts of attempted murder, reckless endangerment, criminal conspiracy. So it's like now they getting these charges stacked against them in which they know nothing about the law, and now here it is, their lives are at the mercy of strangers. You know what I'm saying? I'm quite sure. I'm not saying that their family are not able to afford a private counsel, but at the same time, majority are not able to afford a private counsel. So here it is. They got to rely on public defenders, which is okay. I'm not saying public defenders are horrible representatives. I'm not saying that, but at the same time, you get what you pay for. You know what I mean? So it's so much, that goes into that. That it's like these kids, like sometimes you try to give them that, that type of forewarning, like, yo, you don't want to go down this road. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what's holding you up. But I think that what we should talk on right now, Ms. Lauren, is about, what do you think about like the peer pressure? Like, how do you think that peer
We got
pressure, leads these
man, we
things?
got followers following followers.
Mm,
I
wow.
remember when we was growing up, we had the thorough old heads, and what I mean by that is, they'd be like, "Get off this corner, take this couple hours, take it behind the school." You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
they don't have that now. They
Yeah.
don't. Sometimes I look at the kids, and being as though, especially with me having a studio, I be tapped in with the youth,
Mm-hmm.
and I be like,
Mm-hmm.
"This your old head? He a junkie. He's
Wow.
sending them on to crash dummy missions." And when
Wow.
I call a person my old head, I looked up to them in some type of way. I admired them in
Yeah.
some type of way. Now it's like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
people that they admiring is bombs, and they like drama, and this is what they doing. And this is why we have the biggest issues that we have now with this violence.
Wow.
They don't
Wow.
got the right mentors. Look at who they
Yeah.
mentors is. Even
That-
then, like I said, my dad was with the Black Mafia. Them dudes, they had structure, rules.
yeah.
No women, no kids. You know what I mean? Even
Yeah.
even in Scarface movie. Remember, he was like, it's a kid in the car, it's a woman in the car. I'm not blowing up this car. You know what I'm saying? No. They don't
Mm-hmm.
care. They shooting up the bus stops with the babies, with the kids.
Kids.
They don't have no
Yeah.
morals. They don't care.
They don't care. I'm
Not at
telling you,
all.
it's
Not at
sad. They
all.
don't care who on the butt.
Nope.
Like, I was actually at the scene, like when I was on the news for that, like watching, like where the bullet holes and stuff was. I'm talking about these bullet holes was really big. So it's like whoever the target was, whatever the case may be, but they shot through the bus. That's the thing. Like, it's like 10 shots through the bus. Like, and it's like, yo, like, thank God nobody, or in that situation nobody got killed, but it was retaliation from the Imhotep thing. But it's
They had
like
another one.
yeah,
An 88-year-old man. Remember they was shooting up
oh
North
yeah,
Philly somewhere? They shot 80. A
that's
person
crazy.
that lives to be 88 years old and to
That's
go out
deep.
like that.
Go out like that. That's deep. That's deep, and that's very powerful. So, Ms. Lauren, let me ask you: so, if somebody was actually listening right now from a jail cell, from a recovery house, or even just sitting on the street, looking at this program, what type of motivational or encouraging words would you give them right now?
Um, my motivation, encouraging words would be, let me think so I could think of the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Man, we need some change, especially for a person in a rehab. If you in a rehab, that means you fighting for change. If you in jail, you want change. You don't want people to go down the same road that you went down and experience the same things that you experienced. So we need change, big change. That's my encouraging words. We
That's
need
cool.
if they killing our babies. We need the change not just for ourselves, but we need the change for them as well.
Absolutely. And you bring up a great point. like individuals that's right now, listening from that jail cell or even looking at this video from a halfway house, whatever the case may be, you got to be the change. You have to tell yourself, look, I got to go out here, if whether you had kids or not, whatever the case may be, you got to change. If you've seen that what you've been doing the past 20 years haven't been working, guess what? You got to stick to something else. Something else has to work for you because, again, it's a lot of fatherless kids out here. You know what I mean? It's a lot of fatherless homes out here. And a lot of times, often, like you said, a lot of these kids don't have nobody to turn to or to look up to. What type of role models do we have out here that's standing on the corner? You know what I mean? They'd rather freeze on a corner, you know what I'm saying, with their hands in their pants or smoking a blunt versus spending time with their child inside a household. You know what I mean? Teaching them some of the moral ethics and the things that they should be abiding by versus seeing them once in a while and tell, oh, you better go to school, listen to your mom, this, that, and the third. Nah, you got to come around because what's the saying, like, out of sight, out of mind. So if you're not around, what type of influence or what type of impact will you have over them when you do talk to them or give them some type of order? You know what I mean? So like you said before, when you're dealing with Black Ink, Black Mafia, they had structure. They had different things going on, even though it was a lot of ruthless things that were going on. At the same time, a lot of it was actually done, but still actually giving back to the community as well. When you look at some of them temples, they actually orchestrated a lot of, the foods giving back, the bean pies, and it's a lot of history that goes into that. But again, it was done in organization. I understand that they say it's organized crime, and I won't get too deep into that. But again, it was done for a purpose. But right now, I know that we're coming together, Ms. Lauren, just in general as a whole, and you're getting people together to serve that purpose in the community, especially in Philadelphia. Um,
Absolutely.
and that's a great thing. So, I think over here on Instagram, said Music Boy, he says these kids need anger management. Their self esteem need to be lifted, and that's totally true. Like I said, change and love. And that's what's up. It says we're going to do anything to save the youth. Get with us. That's the Kid 1999. The Kid Kid 1999 said, "Get with us. We're gonna do anything to change the youth." So it's a lot of people that's trying to collaborate and really trying to come together to do this. So, Ms. Lawrence, so if people just as a whole want to tap in, and I know we mentioned earlier that you do have a website, things like that, but if they really want to tap in, really coming together. Like I know you have like some things that's coming up. I know you have like events, especially dealing with Stop the Violence that's coming up. Would you like to share that or in any type of way of when that's coming up and how that may look? Or would you like to wait upon that?
No, I can share it. I definitely can share it. May
Okay.
the 4th from 12 noon to 9 p.m. 5128 Market Street, but the whole block. We're doing a Stop the Violence event. We're going to have face painting, balloon making, a DJ, bouncy house, artists. Out doing music. We're going to have motivational speakers. I'm just trying to get the community together as a whole for us to make some noise and say, hey, look, this is what we offering. If you can assist, that's what's up. But we got our kids, meaning the whole community as a whole, because they still are kids and they are our future. So yeah, May 4th,
Yeah.
12 noon to 9 p.m. Everything is free for them. Everything.
Wow.
Food as well. So we just want them to come out and enjoy themselves in a safe environment.
Safe environment. And that's cool. So what if people like actually wanted to take part in this actual event? What type of things do they have to do, like, or who do they have to contact
Um,
in general to
they
do
can
so?
e- they can email me at It Takes a Village,
Still
a
email?
nonprofit. They can pull up
Okay.
at the shop, 5128 Market Street.
Okay.
Anyone at the shop, they can tap in with them, get my phone number directly, call me.
Yeah.
Um, they can follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
It Takes a Village nonprofit,
Okay.
and just come out and help. The more people we get, the more lives we touch, the bigger this event will be.
Yeah.
So
So is this the actual flyer right here?
yes, that's the actual flyer. Absolutely.
That's the absolute flyer. Okay, right there. Stop the violence event, and that's great. That's great. And Ms. Lauren, I know before we close out things like that, is there anything else you would like to add or share to the people, share to the kids that may be listening right now that has no direction, that has no understanding of where they're going, or any of the above?
Um, yes, I do. Any children from we starting at the age 10 because we have so many things to offer, all the way up
Mhm.
to 24. If you need some help, even if it's an ear, a voice, or whatever, pull up at the shop, 5124, 5128. I'm sorry, Market Street. Ask for me, Lauren, and I'll plug you in anywhere that I can. Like I said, I have Byron offering jobs, driving jobs. We're paying for them to get their license for a driving job from 18 to 24. Um, Nafisa, she's another one of my partners. She has a cleaning and landscaping. She's also offering jobs. Ron, Mobile Fun Drinks. He's also offering jobs. Dom, he's on the live as well. He's actually the director of a rehab facility. So he's free of no charge. If the children's parents are addicted to any drugs, he's offering them a space and putting them in rehab just like that, no questions asked. So we got a couple people tapped in that's trying to help. Like I said, it takes a village. So this is something that can be covered by one person.
Yeah, yeah. And that's absolutely, it takes a village, and that's the power of unity. It's the power of structure. Nobody's hating on nobody. You know, you have a lot of these organizations out there. Oh no, we don't want you to get in this, or we don't want to let you know about this grant or that grant. But that's not what this thing about. It's way bigger than what you and I have going on. It's for a cause
Absolutely.
to stop what's going on. I shared the other day on the podcast about how black people in general only makes up 12% in the United States of America. But here it is, we're killing off each other just because. And the system is allowing us to do this because they're allowing us, they're not responding, they're not finding who these shooters are, not unless it really hits the headlines that something they can't turn away. But we have to start thinking smarter. This goes for a lot of young people, even older people. Start sharing with them, look, we're decreasing, we're diminishing little by little. But until we grasp a hold of that consciousness and knowing that a life is a life, a human being is a human being, and it's precious to mankind. We didn't create it. You know, we may have formed it, came together and formed a life, but our creator is the one who gives life. So who are we to take it
Absolutely.
away from anybody? You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? So without further ado, I'm here. I'm on the Reentry Connect podcast. It takes a village with Ms. Lauren Smith. We really
And I
appreciate
appreciate you
her.
for having me.
Yes, yes, indeed. You were definitely outstanding. And I know a lot of people are going to benefit off of this. I know a lot of inboxes, emails, and things, going to come. And we're just praying that, you have an overflow of abundance in everything that you're doing. And I can't wait to actually, connect with you. And again, before we go off, it's just one more. Like I said, you said it takes a village. Feel free to contact her. It takes a village, a nonprofit, gmail.com. She'll be waiting for your messages, things like that. Back to one day at a time. Old Dad, appreciate you, Mr. Mel Wells. Feel free to contact him for reentry support, any type of recovery support resources as well. He's a great collaborator as well. GPS.net. They're also a great person to contact. They got a lot of things going on over there as well. We need some good transportation. And without further ado, Ms. Lauren, we appreciate having you.
Appreciate you.
Everybody, it's a lot of love over on Facebook, Instagram. Yes, her event is free.
Appreciate them.
We got .1118. She said, "You go, pretty queen. We appreciate y'all."
Appreciate
It's a
you.
lot of. I wish I could bring the comments over from Instagram, but it seemed like they just converted that over. So hopefully, near future, that'll be possible. But without further ado, y'all, everybody have a good evening or a good day, wherever time zone that you're in, and we're out of here.